This is the kind of betrayal of trust from WWE creative that makes fans furious. Seth Rollins has carried Monday Night Raw on his back for months, giving his body, his voice, and his pride to make the World Heavyweight Championship mean something. He put the work in when no one else would, defended the title against every challenger, and earned the respect of the fans. And how does WWE repay him? By throwing him to the wolves. By letting the ring general, Gunther, return in shocking fashion, destroy Rollins, leave him broken in the middle of the ring, and walk away with the championship. And don't get it twisted. This wasn't just a wrestling match. This wasn't just a fight. This was a massacre. Gunther didn't just beat Seth Rollins, he humiliated him. He made him look weak. He tore apart the man that fans have been cheering for night after night, leaving Rollins injured, broken, and stripped of the title that he fought so hard to legitimize. Fans aren't just upset, they're boiling with rage. Because this isn't just about Gunther winning gold, it's about WWE spitting in the face of every fan who believed in Seth Rollins' reign. Let's be real for a second. Gunther is a monster. He dominated as the Intercontinental Champion longer than anyone in history, destroying legends, veterans, and rookies alike. His name carried fear. His nickname, the Ring General, wasn't just a gimmick, it was reality. He controlled every single match he was in. And when he lost the Intercontinental Championship, fans knew it was only a matter of time before he came for bigger prizes. But no one expected this. No one expected Gunther to return like a storm, blindsiding Seth Rollins and ripping the World Heavyweight Championship out of his hands without mercy. And the timing, absolutely disgusting. Seth Rollins has been wrestling injured for months. His back has been the talk of the locker room. His body has been breaking down, but he kept showing up because the fans deserved it. He fought through pain, carried this company when Roman Reigns was absent, and gave the World Heavyweight title the credibility it desperately needed. And WWE used all of that just to feed him to Gunther. They let the Ring General take advantage of a wounded champion, leaving Rollins lying in agony while fans watched in shock. This wasn't a fair fight. This wasn't Gunther proving himself against a healthy Seth Rollins. This was Gunther picking the bones of an injured man, destroying him, and standing tall while fans cried foul. That's not dominance, that's cowardice dressed up as greatness. And what makes fans even angrier is that WWE is going to spin this like Gunther is the unstoppable monster again, ignoring the fact that he needed to ambush a broken champion to get his glory. And let's not sugarcoat this, Seth Rollins might be out for a long time. Reports are already swirling that his injuries have been made worse by Gunther's brutal assault. That's not just a storyline, that's Seth's real career being jeopardized. WWE put him in harm's way, let Gunther target his weaknesses, and now the man who carried Raw could be sidelined indefinitely. Fans have every right to be angry, because if Rollins' career is shortened because of this, WWE will have blood on their hands. The betrayal stings even more when you remember how much Rollins sacrificed. He was there every single week. He cut promos, he defended his title, he fought challengers from all brands. He became the face of Monday Night Raw while others were part-time champions. He gave fans moments to cheer for, matches to remember, and pride in a belt that was once seen as the secondary title. And in one night, WWE let Gunther wipe all of that away. The attack itself was nothing short of a demolition. Fans expected a fight, but what they got was a slaughter. Seth Rollins came into the arena already limping, already taped up, already carrying the visible scars of a champion who had been stretched to his limit. The crowd knew he was hurting, but they also believed in him, because that's what Seth Rollins does. He makes you believe. And then the lights shifted, the atmosphere changed, and suddenly, the Ring General's presence sucked the air right out of the building. The moment Gunther's theme hit, the crowd erupted, but it wasn't excitement, it was shock. Nobody saw this coming. Not tonight, not like this. And Rollins. The look on his face said it all. He knew what was coming, and yet he stood tall because that's who he is. But the courage didn't matter. Gunther stepped into that ring with a coldness, a ruthlessness, like a predator stalking wounded prey. The bell rang, or maybe it didn't even need to. From the second Gunther put his hands on Rollins, it was clear this wasn't about a match, it was about destruction. The first chop echoed like a gunshot through the arena, slamming into Rollins' chest and sending him collapsing to his knees. The crowd winced with every blow, every stomp, every vicious move Gunther executed. Rollins tried to fight back, swinging with everything he had left, but his body betrayed him. His back couldn't carry the weight. His legs buckled. Every time he tried to rise, Gunther smashed him back down. And here's the part that fans will never forgive, Gunther didn't just win. He tortured Seth Rollins. He targeted the injured back mercilessly, slamming him into the mat with suplex after suplex, bending him in half with submissions, driving his knees and fists into the very spots Rollins had been protecting for months. The screams weren't just for show. Rollins was in agony, and WWE let it happen. Then came the powerbomb. Not one, not two, but three devastating powerbombs that left Rollins lifeless. The crowd was booing, chanting for Seth, pleading for him to rise, but every time, Gunther slammed him down harder. And when it was all said and done, Gunther planted his boot on Seth Rollins' chest, lifted the World Heavyweight Championship high into the air, and declared himself the new king of Monday Night Raw. The boos were deafening. The betrayal of the fans' trust was complete. This wasn't a victory, it was an execution. Rollins was carted out of the arena, clutching his back, while Gunther stood tall without an ounce of remorse. And the fans. They're furious. Outrage is pouring in across social media. People are saying this is one of the most disrespectful title changes in years. Not because Gunther isn't talented, everyone knows he is, but because of how it happened. Because it wasn't earned through honor, it was stolen through cruelty. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Rollins losing a belt. This is about Rollins' career being put in jeopardy. Every insider knows Seth's back has been hanging on by a thread. Gunther didn't just take the title, he might have ended Seth Rollins' run at the top for good. And that, more than anything, is why fans are livid. Because Rollins carried Raw when nobody else would. He put his body on the line week after week while others stayed home, took breaks, or worked part-time schedules. He made the World Heavyweight title matter again. And WWE repaid him by letting him be torn apart by a monster looking to make a statement. It's not just unfair, it's disgusting. The fans are demanding answers. Why Gunther? Why now? Why sacrifice the one guy who gave the fans everything just to make a shocking headline? If you're not angry yet, you should be. Because what WWE did tonight wasn't just a title change, it was a message. A message that no matter how hard you fight, no matter how much you give, they'll take it all away the second it suits them. Now let's talk about the why. Because WWE doesn't do anything by accident, and if they sacrificed Seth Rollins at the altar of the ring general, there's a bigger picture here. The question is, why Gunther? Why now? And why at the expense of Seth Rollins' health and legacy? The answer is simple: power. WWE is obsessed with building larger-than-life monsters who can dominate headlines, and Gunther is the perfect candidate. His Intercontinental Championship reign wasn't just long, it was legendary. He dismantled every challenger, from Sheamus to Drew McIntyre to Randy Orton. He didn't just win matches, he broke people. And WWE looked at that dominance and said, if he could do that with the Intercontinental title, imagine what he could do with the World Heavyweight title. But here's the dirty truth. WWE didn't want Seth Rollins to pass the torch. They wanted Gunther to rip it from him. They wanted shock. They wanted controversy. They wanted fans to be so angry, so heartbroken, that they couldn't help but talk about it. Because in WWE's eyes, outrage equals ratings. Outrage equals money. Outrage keeps people tuning in, even if they hate what they're seeing. And who better to cause that outrage than Gunther? He's not just a heel, he's a destroyer. He doesn't just beat people, he humiliates them. And by targeting Rollins, Raw's workhorse, Raw's hero, they've created the biggest villain on Monday nights overnight. Fans aren't just booing Gunther because he's the champion, they're booing him because of how he became champion. And that's exactly what WWE wanted. But here's the problem. This came at too high a cost. Seth Rollins has been the glue holding Raw together for over a year. Roman Reigns dominated SmackDown, Cody Rhodes has been chasing his story, but Rollins was the guy who showed up every week, no excuses, no days off. He defended the World Heavyweight title with pride. He cut promos that connected with fans. He gave his body until it literally started to break. And now, WWE has taken all of that goodwill and thrown it in the trash. Fans feel betrayed. They feel like Rollins was used. Used to legitimize the World Heavyweight title, used to fill arenas, used to get ratings, and then discarded the moment WWE had someone bigger to push. And that's the kind of booking that makes fans furious, because it shows just how little WWE values loyalty and sacrifice. And let's not ignore the fact that this wasn't some five-star classic where Gunther earned the belt. No. This was a one-sided beatdown of a man who could barely stand. It wasn't the passing of the torch. It was ripping the torch out of Seth Rollins' broken hands. That's not respect, that's cruelty. And the WWE Universe knows it. Social media is already exploding with anger. Fans are calling it a disgrace. They're saying WWE has ruined the credibility of the World Heavyweight Championship in one night. Because instead of giving us a war between two warriors at their best, they gave us an ambush. Instead of a moment of respect, they gave us humiliation. And that humiliation isn't just aimed at Rollins, it's aimed at the fans who supported him. Because let's be clear, this isn't just about Gunther's rise. This is about Seth Rollins' fall. This is about WWE taking away everything Rollins built, everything he sacrificed for, and handing it to a guy who didn't earn it in the same way. And fans feel robbed. They feel cheated. They feel like WWE once again proved that they don't care about the people who put their bodies on the line every single night. So what happens now? Does Gunther dominate Raw the way he dominated SmackDown with the IC title? Does he crush challenger after challenger until no one is left standing? Or does this backlash grow so loud that WWE is forced to rethink their decision? Because right now, the WWE Universe isn't celebrating a new champion, they're mourning the betrayal of a man they trusted. And if WWE thinks this anger is going away, they're wrong. Because the fans aren't just angry, they're vengeful. They want to see Gunther pay. They want to see someone rise up and make him suffer the way he made Rollins suffer. The only question is, who's going to step up? The sight of Gunther standing tall over Seth Rollins with the World Heavyweight Championship in his hands was more than just a visual, it was a paradigm shift. WWE fans couldn't believe it. Some were furious, others were cheering in stunned excitement, but nobody could deny it. History had just been made, and Seth Rollins had just been dethroned in the most brutal fashion imaginable. The Ring General had done what many thought was impossible. He had turned one of WWE's strongest, most resilient workhorses into a broken, beaten man lying motionless on the canvas. Seth Rollins, the very man who carried Monday Night Raw on his back, was left clutching his ribs and writhing in agony while medical staff rushed down to ringside. And standing above him, unflinching, was Gunther, a man who had returned from exile to prove dominance once again. And make no mistake about it, this wasn't just a match. This was a statement. Gunther didn't simply want the World Heavyweight Championship, he wanted to erase Seth Rollins. He wanted to send a message to the entire WWE locker room that nobody, and I mean nobody, was safe anymore. The crowd that once sang Seth's theme in unison now stood in stunned silence. You could hear the anger. You could hear the betrayal. But you could also feel something else, fear. Because the WWE Universe just realized what was in store for the company with Gunther back in the picture. The assault wasn't over, either. After the bell rang and Gunther had officially been declared the new World Heavyweight Champion, he didn't stop. He didn't celebrate like most champions. He didn't fall to his knees and cry with emotion. No, he stood tall, with his cold eyes fixed on Seth's broken body, and demanded the microphone. Gunther raised the title high above his head and bellowed, "This is no longer the workhorse title. This is no longer the prize of the people. This is my title. This is the championship of the Ring General. And any man foolish enough to challenge me will suffer the same fate as Seth Rollins." The arena erupted with boos, but Gunther didn't care. He thrived off of it. The jeers were fuel to his fire, proof that he had done exactly what he set out to do, make everyone furious. And let's not forget the aftermath. Seth Rollins was stretchered out of the arena. Yes, stretchered out. WWE medics strapped him to a gurney, his face twisted in pain, his body shaking from the sheer brutality of Gunther's attacks. And the crowd, as conflicted as they were, couldn't deny it. They had just witnessed one of the most shocking assaults in modern WWE history. The whispers began immediately backstage. Wrestlers and commentators were stunned. Some questioned if Rollins would even be able to wrestle again in the near future. Others speculated that this was WWE's plan all along, to build Gunther as the unstoppable juggernaut heading into WrestleMania season. And think about the timing here. Gunther didn't just return randomly. He returned when Seth Rollins was at his peak as champion, when Rollins was the face of Raw, when the crowd's love for him was untouchable. Gunther chose this exact moment to strike because he knew that taking down Seth Rollins would generate maximum impact. The shocking reality is that this return has completely shifted WWE's landscape. Seth Rollins is out. The World Heavyweight title is in the hands of the Ring General. And the entire locker room is on notice. Imagine the potential challengers now. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all of them are looking at a completely different battlefield. Because when you step in the ring with Gunther, it's not about winning or losing, it's about survival. This is the new era of WWE. This is Gunther's empire. And Seth Rollins, once the architect, once the visionary, is now just another victim left broken at the feet of the Ring General.